Second grade, what's going on? How you doing this day? I have your history lesson today, so you should have your history books. We're going to be on pages 144 to 149. Before we start, there's something that we've been talking about the last few weeks. We've been talking about who are we? Who are the people that moved to America? Who are the people that helped to build America? Now we're talking about the new Americans. So I want to see if we can do a little review. All right, so I want you to listen to these questions. You can get a paper out, a piece of paper, and a pencil out, and you're going to number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're going to number from 1 to 9, and I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to write down the answer, what you think. There's no multiple choice, so you just have to write the answer. It's just to see if you remember. Okay, so let's see what you can get, and we'll go from there. All right, so here we go. I'm going to say we are reviewing the groups, and I'm going to ask you a question, but who are we? And I'm going to give you a clue, and you're going to have to write it down. All right, so some of the answers could be, actually, you know what? I'll give you a choice of the answers. So the choice of the answers could be, and I'm going to write them down right here, just so you guys can see. All right, that way it'll make it a little bit easier for you. All right, so you guys can see my screen here, and I'll pull this up so you guys don't see anything else. All right, so we got our text. The choices for your answers are going to be separatist, American Indians, colonists, pioneers, cowboys, or new Americans. And I won't write or there, I'll just write new Americans. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Some of these answers can be used more than once. So I'm going to do that right there. I'm going to leave it here. And then I'm going to read to you the questions, okay? So the first question is, and it's just, who are we? And you have to decide which one of these people goes into. Who are we? Number 1, we taught the colonists all about the maize. Who are we? And remember what the maize was. The maize was the like the corn stalks in the middle of the fields. So who taught them about that? All right. Was it separatists, American Indians, colonists, pioneers, cowboys, or new Americans? All right. Number 2, one thought that bothered us while we were looking for, one thought that bothered us while we were working was the chance of a stampede. So these people were working and they were only worried about a stampede. Who are we? All right. Number 3, we wanted to separate from the Church of England. We wanted to separate from the Church of England. Who are we? Number 4, we crossed America in covered wagons. Who are we? We crossed America in covered wagons. Who are we? Number 5, we crossed the Atlantic Ocean in the 1600s to come to America. We crossed the Atlantic Ocean in the 1600s to come to America. All right, we're almost there. You guys are doing pretty good. All right, your next one. I believe this is number 6. Because we helped them, the separatists invited us to a big feast. Because we helped them, the separatists invited us to a big feast. Who are we? So again, your choices are here, and you can use some of the answers more than once. All right, number 7. Is that right? Yeah, number 7. Our job was to look after the ranchers' longhorns. Our job was to look after the ranchers' longhorns. So who were the people that looked after the longhorns? Number 8. I'm sorry, I was struggling because it's not written in numbers, it's letters. So I keep saying number 7, but I want to say H. All right, so number 8. At first, we went to Holland for freedom of worship, but when our children began forgetting English ways, we came to America. Who are we? At first, we went to Holland for freedom of worship, but when our children began forgetting English, we came to America. Who are we? And then the last one, number 9, it says, with only our mules and our guns, we traveled through the wilderness. With only our mules and our guns, we traveled through the wilderness. All right, all right. So that is your little questionnaire right there. Hope you guys did that. I'll get off of this. If you need to go over it again, you can rewind it. All right, so that's pretty fun. We've been talking about all types of things today. Really quickly, what are the four oceans? Four oceans: Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Arctic. The biggest one is the Pacific because we live right next to it in California. So you guys should know that. And then the Atlantic Ocean is on the East Coast. It's on the East Coast. I'm going to show you guys something pretty cool about the Atlantic and the Pacific, about how they're two different colors and they don't even mix. It was amazing when I saw it. So you'll see that in today's video. All right. Excuse me. All right. We're all good. We're going to turn to page 144. We're going to get started. Something that's really important that we're going to be talking about today are Black Americans. Everybody say Black Americans. All right. Take a sip of my water and we'll get started. So the easiest way to talk about this is just to be straightforward and honest. Black people, for the most part, did not start in America. And when they arrived to America, they did not come here on their own. They were forced to come to America. As you guys know, that situation is called slavery. They were stolen from Africa and brought over to America, and then they were kept as slaves. And slavery happened for over 400 years. Black people were not treated very nicely. They were not treated fairly. And guess what? Even today, there's still some situations where Black people aren't treated the best. But we have come so far from where we started. So we're going to talk today about some of the contributions that Black Americans made in America, even though the history, they had to fight through so much. All right. So we're going to start talking about that right now. Our vocabulary word for today are on this page are African. Everybody say African. And then the other vocabulary word is plantations. Plantations. So some of this may be reviewed because we talked about some slavery and other ways that Black people were treated during the time when they first came here. And we also talked about a little bit about it in the George Washington, Frederick Douglass book. All right. So let's get started. I know I've been talking. So let's get started. Black Americans. Some new Americans did not choose to make America their home. Many African people were forced to leave their homes and come to America as slaves. They had to work on large plantations or farms in the southern part of the United States, and some of them worked in the fields. Others worked cooking, cleaning, and serving in the large plantation homes. These Black Americans were not allowed to choose what kind of jobs they would have. They could not save money to buy homes, and many of their children were not able to go to school to learn how to read and write. This was a very sad time for our America. It was a very sad time. The people were treated terrible. They were not, some people, they were killed because they didn't follow the rules. Sometimes they were just killed just to be killed. So they were not treated fairly at all. And so it's a reason why we have Black History Month. We celebrate the history of Black people and the contributions they made, but also the history of the struggle that they went through and how much they have survived. Even I say they, but I'm Black as well. And so how much the people have survived and led us to this moment. And so we're thankful to God that slavery doesn't exist anymore and that we're still making progress each and every day. All right, let's keep reading. On this page, the vocabulary word is Carver. Another vocabulary word is scientist. And another one is Tuskegee Institute. Tuskegee Institute is a college, a famous historically Black college, HBCU. Mr. Hunter, I went to an HBCU called Hampton University. And Tuskegee University was actually started by Booker T. Washington. Okay, Booker T. Washington was an alum and he helped start Tuskegee. And he's also an alum of Hampton. So he went to Hampton and then he started Tuskegee. So really, really cool how those two schools connect. All right, let's keep reading here. It says, how thankful we are that the story does not end there. So it doesn't end with slavery. All right. After the Civil War, the slaves were given their freedom. They no longer belonged to other people. They could earn money and keep it for themselves. They could send their children to school. They could choose what kind of jobs they would do. But the southern states were very poor after the war. And God sent a very special Black man named George Washington Carver to help the southern states. God gave him great wisdom to know how to grow and use many kinds of plants. And Mr. Carver became a famous scientist at the Tuskegee Institute or University at Alabama. He helped the people of the South grow and use peanuts, soybeans, and sweet potatoes. He spent many years teaching farmers and Black people how to use the land to grow better crops so that the South would not be poor any longer. All right, let's turn the page. Let's looking at this. So that was a real short segue about Black Americans, but we know that Black Americans made more contributions than just one page. Okay, so I'm going to put some little clips in your YouTube video today to tell you a little bit more about Black Americans, because one page, that's not enough. All right, here we go. So let's look at what did the new Americans give to America. Your vocabulary for this are factories. Everybody say factories. And then another one say German. German. All right. Did the new Americans have anything to give their new country, the United States of America? Yes, they did. Many of these new Americans moved to the cities to find work in factories. As more and more people came, the cities grew much bigger. Factories made more products, and America became richer and stronger. When families from Sweden and Norway came to America, many of them traveled west. In the West, they built big, beautiful farms where there was once nothing but plains. Today, American farms produce enough food to feed not only Americans, but also people in other countries. That's amazing. Does your family decorate a Christmas tree? Well, guess what? The German people gave us that idea. They also brought the idea of the kindergarten to America. All right. So there's another page that we have here, and it's going to tell you about a song. All right. There's a Black song or a Black history song that they were singing as slaves, and it's called Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. You may have heard of it. I'm not going to sing it, but I'm going to read to you the top part here, and I'll put that song in your bio as well. All right. It says, Black Americans contributed greatly to America's music. They gave us the beautiful Negro spirituals that are loved and sung by all Americans. These songs tell us about God and his love. My parents used to show me some of these songs when I was little, and they are really impactful in my life, and I've never forgot them. So I'm going to put a couple of songs here. I want you guys to listen to the words and think about the messages. Excuse me. These people, they were going through a lot. They were not being treated fairly. Some of them were seeing people being killed. They were separated from their families. And guess what? They still had it in them to give God praise, to worship, to sing songs that would help keep them inspired and strengthened. And so it's really powerful. So I'm going to put that in there. You guys have a look. All right. Turn the page. Look at the vocabulary words down at the bottom here. It says inventor, Brooklyn Dodgers. Now they're the LA Dodgers, but they started in New York and Brooklyn. Garrett Morgan, Chinese, Major League, Mexican, burritos, Jackie Robinson, and enchiladas. All right, let's look. It says an inventor is a person who thinks up or designs something for the very first time. A Black American inventor, Garrett Morgan, designed a traffic signal that used red, yellow, and green lights. It was similar to the traffic lights we use today. Wait a minute. You're telling me a Black man created the stoplight? That is amazing. Something you didn't know before, did you? Really cool. Jackie Robinson. We all know about Jackie Robinson, especially here in LA because of our Dodgers. I love the Dodgers. Hope you do too. All right. Jackie Robinson was the first Black American to play Major League Baseball, and he played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Again, Brooklyn is in New York, but the Brooklyn Dodgers ended up moving to Los Angeles. Have you ever watched? All right, so he played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, the first Black person, and we still celebrate him today. There's a day in Major League Baseball where they call it Jackie Robinson Day. Nobody wears any different number jersey than 42. Everybody wears the same 42 jersey out of respect, paying tribute to Jackie. All right, let's look as we keep reading. Have you ever watched a beautiful fireworks display? How many of you guys have seen fireworks display at night? How many of you guys do your own fireworks? Pretty cool, right? There's so much to see. I love going downtown to see the fireworks over the city, and also love being over by the beaches, seeing the fireworks in Venice Beach. And yeah, it's a lot, or Marina Del Rey, I should say. But there's so many different fireworks that are very great. All right. So if you've seen a beautiful fireworks display, the Chinese people invented fireworks. Wow. They like to welcome the new year with fireworks and parades. Some of our favorite foods come from Mexican people because of tacos, burritos, enchiladas. These spicy Mexican dishes can really make you thirsty. Now we know, again, these books are just pointing out little small clips. We know that Mexican people, they're not only good for tacos and burritos. We don't want to say that. And we know that Chinese people didn't just create fireworks, but it's just touching on some of the things that are pretty special. So again, we're going to send you some more videos about the Black Americans, and we'll tell you about that as we move forward, including the Negro spirituals that they say. All right. Looking over on page 149, it says, "Together, we are many different people who make up one great country." That is true. Even though we're all separated, there's white people, there's Black people, there's Chinese people, there's Mexican people. We're all connected. All right. And together we make one people. All right. One great country, the United States of America. We are one nation under God. So that's what that really means. There's so many differences that we have. We don't make fun of other people because of their differences. We also know, again, that Black people weren't treated fairly, and sometimes today they're still not treated fairly. But we pray for that. We pray for that. We pray for other races who have things that they're struggling with too, and they're dealing with. So it's not just one group, but we're going to highlight a couple of things that are special today. All right. What you're going to do is in your "Do You Know?" You have 4 questions there. And you know what? You can use your book to answer these questions, all right? So what we just read, page 144 to 149, the answers are on in here. Number 1, what were some of the reasons people came to America? There's a variety of choices, all right? You can put those down. Number 2, which of their dreams came true right away? Which of their dreams came true? Number 3, which dreams would they have to work for? Okay? And then number 4, how did the new Americans help grow our country? Pretty simple questions that we covered today. I'm excited to see your answers. I'm excited for you to check out some of the videos as well. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.